Okay, good evening, folks. So, today we move on to the story of Samuel. At least the beginning of his story. Of course, he continues for quite a while. When we get to this point, we can start digging in a little bit to biblical chronology. As we're going to go through, there's a particular biblical chronology that I've set my hopes in, more or less, which I can't find it here right away, but I think it's the one that suggests that the temple in Jerusalem was consecrated by Solomon in the year 967. But at any rate, so we're not given much in terms of chronological markers before David, and there's some cross purposes. But there's some conclusions we can draw. One, if we start with Josephus, he, dealing with the problem of trying to figure out how long was the reign of Saul, he says that Saul reigned for 18 years before, what was it? Oh, my brain has just flown away. Yes, Saul reigned for 18 years before the death of Samuel. Now, that gives us something that we can work with here. There are people that disagree with that, say he's wrong, but he's so confident of it. It's interesting. Anyhow, so here are some things that we have. First of all, is that it's not clear what's being said when it's talking about the ark, but the ark goes into captivity with the Philistines for 7 months, and then it's taken to Kiriath Yearim. And at the end of that section, it says that the ark of the Lord abode in Kiriath Yearim, and days were multiplied, and all the house of Israel rested, following the Lord. And so that's referring to basically the judgeship of Samuel and his time ruling as judge. Because it's following the same pattern that the book of Judges follows when they describe that. And there's a parenthetical remark, for it was now the 20th year. What are you talking about? The 20th year of what? And the most likely thing is that it's saying that the house of Israel rested for 20 years while the ark abode in Kiriath Yearim. Now we know that the ark abode in Kiriath Yearim after that, but it would seem to have to refer to the resting of the house of Israel, and thus the judgeship of Samuel. So that means that the event of the capture of the ark has to be 20 years before Saul starts to rule, and so 38 years before the death of Samuel. But we also know that the year that Saul starts to rule, they say, okay, Samuel, you're old. His sons are adults. And so he's got to be at least 50, right? And we get some confirming evidence for this. Well, okay, so that's sort of a lower limit, but there's also an upper limit. You see, when the ark was captured, the priest Eli, who was then judging Israel, died. And it says that Eli judged Israel for 40 years. Now, presumably he had been a priest before that, but it seems likely that he would have gone to the judgeship of Israel when he became high priest. And so that would put the beginning of his judgeship 40 years, 40 years before the ark was captured. And see, the thing is, the whole story of Samuel begins with Samuel being born while Eli is the high priest in the tabernacle. And so what that ends up giving us is that at the earliest, Samuel could have been born in 1090. That would make him 60 years old when the ark is captured. So Samuel's got to be born sometime between 1090 and 1080. Which means that the vision of Samuel in the tabernacle's got to be around when he's 10 years old, maybe a little younger. And then that gives it a context where, okay, he begins to be judge over Israel when he's like 30, 40 at the max, and he does that for 20 years. And so that real interesting indicators. We're going to go with the younger mark, but who can say? So, in about 1080 BC, there was a man of Ramathaim Sophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Hilkiah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Suph, an Ephraimite. And he had 2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city on the appointed days to adore and to offer sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Ophni and Phinehas, were there priests of the Lord. Now the day came, and Hilkiah offered sacrifice and gave to Peninnah his wife, and to all her sons and daughters portions. But to Hannah he gave 1 portion with sorrow, because he loved Hannah. And the Lord had shut up her womb. Her rival also afflicted her, and troubled her exceedingly, insomuch that she upbraided her that the Lord had shut up her womb. And thus she did every year when the time returned that they went up to the temple of the Lord. And thus she provoked her. But Hannah wept and did not eat. Then Hilkiah her husband said to her, Hannah, why do you weep, and why do you not eat? Why do you afflict your heart? Am I not better to you than 10 children? So Hannah arose after she had eaten and drunk in Shiloh, and Eli the priest sitting on a stool before the door of the temple of the Lord. As Hannah had her heart full on grief, she prayed to the Lord, shedding many tears. And she made a vow, saying, Lord of hosts, if you will look down on the affliction of your servant, and will be mindful of me, and not forget your handmaid, and will give to your servant a man-child, I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. And it came to pass, as she multiplied prayers before the Lord, that Eli observed her mouth. Now Hannah spoke in her heart, and only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard at all. Eli therefore thought her to be drunk, and said to her, How long will you be drunk? Digest a little the wine of which you have taken too much. Hannah answering said, Not so, my lord, for I am an exceeding unhappy woman, and have drunk neither wine nor any strong drink, but I have poured out my soul before the Lord. Do not count your handmaid for one of the daughters of Belial, for out of the abundance of my sorrow and grief have I spoken till now." Then Eli said to her, "Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant you your petition which you have asked of him." And she said, "Would to God your handmaid may find grace in your eyes." So the woman went on her way, and ate, and her countenance was no more changed. And they rose in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and they returned and came into their house at Ramathah. And Hilkiah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. And it came to pass, when the time was come about, Hannah conceived and bore a son, and called his name Samuel, because she had asked him of the Lord. And Hilkiah her husband went up, and all his house, to offer to the Lord the solemn sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, "I will not go till the child be weaned, until I may carry him, that he may appear before the Lord, and may always abide there." And Hilkiah her husband said to her, "Do what seems good to you, and stay till you wean him, and I pray that the Lord may fulfill his word." So the woman stayed at home, and gave her son suck till she weaned him. And after she had weaned him, she carried him with her, with 3 calves, and 3 bushels of flour, and a bottle of wine, and she brought him to the house of the Lord in Shiloh. Now the child was as yet very young, and they immolated a calf, and offered the child to Eli. And Hannah said, "I beseech you, my lord, as your soul lives, my lord, I am that woman who stood before you praying here to the Lord. For this child did I pray, and the Lord has granted me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore I also have lent him to the Lord all the days of his life. He shall be lent to the Lord." And they adored the Lord there. And Hannah prayed and said, "My heart is rejoiced in the Lord, and my horn is exalted in my God. My mouth is enlarged over my enemies, because I have joyed in your salvation. There is none holy as the Lord is, for there is no other beside you, and there is none strong like our God. Do not multiply to speak lofty things, boasting. Let old matters depart from your mouth, for the Lord is a God of all knowledge, and to him are thoughts prepared. The bow of the mighty is overcome, and the weak are girt with strength. They that were full before have hired themselves out for bread, and the hungry are filled. So that the barren has borne many, and she that had many children is weakened. The Lord kills and makes alive. He brings down to hell and brings back again. The Lord makes poor and makes rich. He humbles and he exalts. He raises up the needy from the dust, and lifts up the poor from the dunghill, that he may sit with princes and hold the throne of glory. For the poles of the earth are the Lord's, and upon them he has set the world. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, because no man shall prevail by his own strength. The adversaries of the Lord shall fear him, and upon them shall he thunder in the heavens. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give empire to his king, and shall exalt the horn of his Christ. Now, the sons of Eli were children of Belial, not knowing the Lord, nor the office of the priest of the people. But whoever had offered a sacrifice, the servant of the priest came, while the flesh was boiling, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and thrust it into the kettle, or into the cauldron, or into the pot, or into the pan. And all that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took to himself. Thus they did to all Israel that came to Shiloh. Also, before they burnt the fat, the servant of the priest came and said to the man that sacrificed, "Give me flesh to boil for the priest, for I will not take of you sodden flesh, but raw." And he that sacrificed said to him, Let the fat first be burnt today according to the custom, and then take as much as your soul desires. But he answered and said to him, Not so, but you shall give it to me now, or else I will take it by force. Therefore the sin of the young men was exceeding great before the Lord, because they withdrew men from the sacrifice of the Lord. But Samuel ministered before the face of the Lord, being a child girded with a linen ephod. And his mother made him a little coat, which she brought to him on the appointed days, when she went up with her husband to offer the solemn sacrifice. And Eli blessed Hilkiah and his wife, and he said to him, The Lord give you seed of this woman, for the loan that you have lent to the Lord. And they went to their own home. And the Lord visited Hannah, and she conceived, and bore 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel became great before the Lord. And there came a man of God to Eli, and said to him, Thus says the Lord, Did I not plainly appear to your father's house when they were in Egypt in the house of Pharaoh? And I chose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to go up to my altar and burn incense to me, and to wear the ephod before me. And I gave to your father's house of all the sacrifices of the children of Israel. Why have you kicked away my victims and my gifts, which I commanded to be offered in the temple? And you have rather honored your sons than me, to eat the firstfruits of every sacrifice of my people Israel. Therefore thus says the Lord God of Israel, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father should minister in my sight forever. But now, says the Lord, far be this from me. But whoever shall glorify me, him will I glorify, but they that despise me shall be despised. Behold, the days come, and I will cut off your arm, and the arm of your father's house, that there shall not be an old man in your house. And you shall see your rival in the temple, in all the prosperity of Israel, and there shall not be an old man in your house forever. However, I will not altogether take away a man from you from my altar, but that your eyes may faint and your soul be spent, and a great part of your house shall die when they come to man's estate. And this shall be a sign to you, that shall come upon your 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall both of them die. And I will raise me up a faithful priest, who shall do according to my heart and my soul, and I will build him a faithful house, and he shall walk all days before my anointed. And it shall come to pass, that whosoever shall remain in your house shall come, that he may be prayed for, and shall offer a piece of silver and a roll of bread, and shall say, Put me, I beseech you, to somewhat of the priestly office, that I may eat a morsel of bread. About 1070 BC. Now the child Samuel ministered to the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no manifest vision. And it came to pass one day, when Eli lay in his place, and his eyes were grown dim, that he could not see, before the lamp of God went out, Samuel slept in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was. And the Lord called Samuel. And he answered, Here am I. And he ran to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. He said, I did not call, go back and sleep. And he went and slept. And the Lord called Samuel again, and Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. He answered, I did not call you, my son. Return and sleep. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither had the word of the Lord been revealed to him. And the Lord called Samuel again the 3rd time, and he arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for you did call me. Then Eli understood that the Lord called the child, And he said to Samuel, Go and sleep, and if he shall call you any more, you shall say, Speak, Lord, for your servant hears. So Samuel went and slept in his place. And the Lord came and stood, and he called, as he had called the other times, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel said, Speak, Lord, for your servant hears. And the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I do a thing in Israel, and whoever shall hear it, both his ears shall tingle. In that day I will raise up against Eli all the things I have spoken concerning his house. I will begin, and I will make an end. And Samuel slept till morning, and opened the doors of the house of the Lord. And Samuel feared to tell the vision to Eli. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. He answered, Here I am. And he asked him, What is the word that the Lord has spoken to you? I beg you not to hide it from me. May God do so-and-so to you, and add so-and-so, if you hide from me one word of all that were said to you. So Samuel told him all the words, and did not hide them from him. And he answered, It is the Lord. Let him do what is good in his sight. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and not one of his words fell to the ground. And all Israel from Dan to Beersheba knew that Samuel was a faithful prophet of the Lord. 1050 BC. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight, and Israel went out to war against the Philistines, encamped by the stone of help. And the Philistines came to Aphek, and put their army in array against Israel. And when they had joined battle, Israel turned their backs to the Philistines, and there were slain in that fight, here and there in the fields, about 4,000 men. And the people returned to the camp, and the ancients of Israel said, Why has the Lord defeated us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch to ourselves the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh, and let it come in the midst of us, that it may save us from the hand of our enemies. So the people sent to Shiloh, and they brought from there the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, sitting upon the cherubim. And the two sons of Eli, Ophni and Phinehas, were with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord was come into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, and the earth rang again. And the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, and they said, What is this noise of a great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of the Lord was come into the camp. And the Philistines were afraid, saying, God is come into the camp. And sighing, they said, Woe to us! For there was no such great joy yesterday as the day before. Woe to us! Who shall deliver us from the hand of these high gods? These are the gods that struck Egypt with all the plagues in the desert. Take courage and behave like men, Philistines, lest you come to be servants of the Hebrews, as they have served you. Take courage and fight. So the Philistines fought, and Israel was overthrown, and every man fled to his own dwelling, and there was an exceeding great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen. And the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Ophni and Phinehas, were slain. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent, and his head strewed with dust. And when he was come, Eli sat on a stool over against the way watching. For his heart was fearful for the ark of God. And when the man was come into the city, he told it, and all the city cried out. And Eli heard the noise of the cry, and he said, What does the noise of this uproar mean? But he made haste and came and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim, and he could not see. And he said to Eli, I am he that came from the battle, and have fled out of the field this day. And he said to them, What is there done, my son? And he that brought the news answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there has been a great slaughter of the people. Moreover, your 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God is taken. And when he had named the ark of God, he fell from his stool backwards by the door, and broke his neck, and died. For he was an old man, and far advanced in years, and he judged Israel 40 years. And the Philistines took the ark of God, and carried it from the stone of help into Azotus. And the Philistines took the ark of God, and brought it into the temple of Dagon, and set it by Dagon. And when the Azotians arose early the next day, Dagon lay upon his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon and set him again in his place. And the next day again, when they rose in the morning, they found Dagon lying on his face on the earth before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off on the threshold, and only the stump of Dagon remained in its place. For this cause, neither the priest of Dagon nor any that go into the temple tread on the threshold of Dagon in Azotus unto this day. And the hand of the Lord was heavy upon the Azotians, and he destroyed them and afflicted Azotus and the coast thereof with hemorrhoids. And in the villages and fields in the midst of the country there came forth a multitude of mice, and there was confusion and great mortality in the city. And the men of Azotus, seeing this kind of plague, said, The ark of the God of Israel shall not stay with us, for his hand is heavy upon us, and upon Dagon our God. And sending, they gathered together all the lords of the Philistines to them, and said, What shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And the Gettites answered, Let the ark of God of Israel be carried about. And they carried the ark of the God of Israel about. And while they were carrying it about, the hand of the Lord came upon every city with an exceeding great slaughter. And he smote the men of every city, both small and great, and they had hemorrhoids in their secret parts. And the Gettites consulted together and made themselves seats of skins. Therefore they sent the ark of God into Acharon. And when the ark of God was come into Acharon, the Acharonites cried out, saying, They have brought the ark of God of Israel to us to kill us and our people. Therefore they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines, and they said, Send away the ark of the God of Israel, and let it return to its own place, and not kill us and our people. For there was the fear of death in every city, and the hand of God was exceedingly heavy. The men also that did not die were afflicted with the hemorrhoids, and the cry of every city went up to heaven. Now the ark of God was in the land of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, What shall we do with the ark of the Lord? Tell us how we are to send it back to its place. And they said, If you send back the ark of the God of Israel, do not send it away empty, but render to him what you owe for sin, and then you shall be healed. You shall know why his hand departs not from you. Why do you harden your hearts, as Egypt and Pharaoh hardened their hearts? Did he not, after he was struck, then let them go, and they departed? Now therefore take and make a new cart, and 2 kine that have calved, on which there has come no yoke. Tie to the cart, and shut up the calves at home. And you shall take the ark of the Lord, and lay it on the cart, and the vessels of gold which you have paid him for sin, and you shall put into a little box at the side thereof, and send it away that it may go. And you shall look, and if it go up by the way of his own coast towards Bethsam, then he has done us this great evil. But if not, we shall know that it is not his hand that has touched us, but it has happened by chance." Therefore they did in this manner, and taking 2 kine that had suckling calves, they yoked them to the cart and shut up their calves at home. And the kine took the straight way that leads to Bethsam. And they went along the way, lowing as they went, and turning not aside, neither to the right hand nor to the left. And the lords of the Philistines followed them as far as the borders of Bethsam. Now the Bethsamites were reaping wheat in the valley, and lifting up their eyes, they saw the ark and rejoiced to see it. Incidentally, I didn't notice this before. So the Bethsamites are reaping wheat in the valley, which means it's Pentecost. So it's early June here, and the Ark of the God was in the land of the Philistines for 7 months. So that means May, April, March, February, January, December, and November. That means that the battle where the Ark was captured was late October, early November. That's cool. Anyhow, moving along. Now the Bethsamites were reaping wheat in the valley, and lifting up their eyes, they saw the ark, and rejoiced to see it. And the cart came into the field of Joshua, a Bethsamite, and stood there. And there was a great stone, and they cut in pieces the wood of the cart, and laid the kine upon it, a holocaust to the Lord. And the Levites took down the ark of God, and the little box that was at the side of it, wherein were the vessels of gold, and they put them upon the great stone. The men also of Bethsam offered holocausts and sacrificed victims that day to the Lord. But he slew of the men of Bethsam, because they had seen the ark of the Lord. And he slew of the people 70 men, and 50,000 of the common people. And the people lamented because the Lord had smitten the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Bethsam said, "Who shall be able to stand before the Lord this holy God? And to whom shall he go up from us?" And they sent the messengers to the inhabitants of Kiriath-Jearim, saying, "The Philistines have brought back the ark of the Lord. Come down and fetch it up to you." And the men of Kiriath-Jearim came and fetched up the ark of the Lord, and carried it into the house of Abinadab in Gibeah. And, well, that should be Abinadab on the hill, but Gibeah means hill. And they sanctified Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass that from the day the ark of the Lord abode in Kiriath-Jearim, days were multiplied, for it was now the 20th year, and all the house of Israel rested, following the Lord. And Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, "If you turn to the Lord with all your heart, put away the strange gods from among you, Baalim and Ashtaroth, and prepare your hearts to the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hands of the Philistines." Then the children of Israel put away the Baalim and Ashtaroth, and served the Lord only. And Samuel said, "Gather all Israel to Maspah, that I may pray to the Lord for you." And they gathered together to Maspah, and they drew water and poured it out before the Lord, and they fasted on that day, and they said there, "We have sinned against the Lord." And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Maspah. And the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together to Maspah, and the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard this, they were afraid of the Philistines. And they said to Samuel, "Do not cease to cry to the Lord our God for us, that he may save us out of the hands of the Philistines." "20 years later, about 1030 BC, all the ancients of Israel, being assembled, came to Samuel at Ramathah, and they said to him, Because you are old and your sons do not walk in your ways, make us a king to judge us as all nations have. And the word was displeasing in the eyes of Samuel that they should say, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, Hearken to the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, but me, that I should not reign over them. According to all their works they have done from that day I brought them out of Egypt until this day, as they have forsaken me and served strange gods, so they do also to you. Now therefore hearken to their voice, but yet testify to them and foretell them the right of the kings that shall reign over them. Then Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people that had desired a king of him, and said, This will be the right of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and put them in his chariots, and will make them his horsemen and his running footmen to run before his chariots. And he will appoint of them to be his tribunes and his centurions, and to plow his fields, and to reap his corn, and to make him arms and chariots. Your daughters also he will take to make him ointments, and to be his cooks and bakers. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your best olive yards, and give them to his servants. Now there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kis, the son of Abiel, the son of Seror, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphiah, the son of a man of Gemini, valiant and strong. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice and goodly man, and there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. From his shoulders upward he appeared above all the people. And the asses of Kis, Saul's father, were lost. And Kis said to his son Saul, Take one of the servants with you, and arise, go, and seek the asses. And when they had passed through Mount Ephraim, and going through the land of Shalishah, and had not found them, they passed also through the land of Salim, and they were not there, and through the land of Gemini, and they did not find them. When they came to the land of Suf, Saul said to the servant that was with him, Come, let us return, lest perhaps my father forget the asses and be concerned for us. And he said to him, Look, there's a man of God in this city, a famous man. All that he says certainly comes to pass. Now therefore let us go there, and perhaps he may tell us of our way for which we are come. And Saul said to his servant, Look, we will go, but what shall we carry to the man of God? The bread is spent in our bags, and we have no present to make to the man of God, nor anything at all. The servant answered Saul again and said, See, there is found in my hand the fourth part of a sickle of silver. Let us give it to the man of God, that he may tell us our way. Now, in time past, in Israel, when a man went to consult God, he spoke thus, Come, let us go see to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet in time past was called a seer. And they went up into the city. And when they were walking in the middle of the city, behold, Samuel was coming out over against them to go up to the high place. Now the Lord had revealed to the ear of Samuel the day before Saul came, saying, Tomorrow, about the same hour, I will send you a man of the land of Benjamin, and you shall anoint him to be ruler over my people Israel, and he shall save my people out of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked down upon my people, because their cry has come to me. And when Samuel saw Saul, the Lord said to him, See the man of whom I spoke to you, this man shall reign over my people. And Saul came to Samuel in the middle of the gate and said, Tell me, I pray you, where is the house of the seer? And Samuel answered Saul, saying, I am the seer. Go up before me to the high place, that you may eat with me today, and I will let you go in the morning, and tell you all that is in your heart. And as for the asses which were lost 3 days ago, do not worry, because they are found. And for whom shall be all the best things of Israel? Shall they not be for you and for all your father's house? And Saul answering said, Am I not a son of Jemini of the least tribe of Israel? Am I kindred the last among all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Why then have you spoken this word to me? Then Samuel, taking Saul and his servant, brought them into the parlor and gave them a place at the head of those that were invited, for there were about 30 men. And Samuel said to the cook, Bring the portion which I gave you and commanded you to set it apart by you. And the cook took up the shoulder and set it before Saul. And Samuel said, Behold what is left, set it before you, and eat, because it was kept on purpose for you when I invited the people. And Saul ate with Samuel that day. And they went down from the high place into the town, and he spoke with Saul on the top of the house, and he prepared a bed for Saul on the top of the house, and he slept. And when they had risen in the morning, and it began now to be light, Samuel called Saul on the top of the house, saying, Arise, that I may let you go. And Saul arose, and they both went out, namely, he and Samuel. And as they were going down into the end of the city, Samuel said to Saul, Speak to the servant to go before us and pass on. But you stand still a while, that I may tell the word of the Lord to you. And Samuel took a little vial of oil and poured it on his head and kissed him, and said, Behold, the Lord has appointed you to be prince over his inheritance, and you shall deliver his people out of the hands of their enemies that are round about them. And this shall be a sign to you that God has anointed you to be prince. And Samuel called together the people to the Lord in Maspha. And he said to the children of Israel, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, I brought up Israel out of Egypt and delivered you from the hands of the Egyptians and from the hand of all the kings who afflicted you. But you this day have rejected your God, who has only saved you out of all your evils and your tribulations, and you have said, No, but put a king over us. Now therefore stand before the Lord by your tribes and by your families. And Samuel brought to him all the tribes of Israel, and the lot fell on the tribe of Benjamin. And he brought the tribe of Benjamin and the kindreds thereof, and the lot fell upon the kindred of Metri, and it came to Saul the son of Kish. They looked for him, and he was not found. And after this they consulted the Lord whether he would come there. And the Lord answered, Behold, he is hidden at home. And they ran and fetched him from there. And he stood in the middle of the people, and he was higher than any of the people from the shoulders upward. And Samuel said to all the people, Surely you see him whom the Lord has chosen, that there is none like him among the people. And all the people cried and said, God save the king! And Samuel told the people the law of the kingdom, and wrote it in a book, and laid it up before the Lord. And Samuel sent away all the people, every one to his house. Saul also departed to his own house in Gibeah, and there went with him a part of the army whose hearts God had touched. But the children of Belial said, Shall this fellow be able to save us? And they despised him, and did not bring him presents. But he dissembled as though he did not hear them. And Samuel said to all Israel, Behold, I have hearkened to your voice and all that you said to me, and have made a king over you. And now the king goes before you, but I am old and gray-headed, and my sons are with you. Having then conversed with you from my youth unto this day, behold, here I am. Speak of me before the Lord and before his anointed, whether I have taken any man's ox or ass, if I have wronged any man, or if I have oppressed any man, if I have taken a bribe at any man's hand, and I will despise it this day and restore it to you. And they said, You have not wronged us, nor oppressed us, nor taken anything out of any man's hand. And he said to them, The Lord is witness against you, and his anointed is witness this day, that you have not found anything in my hand. And they said, He is witness. And Samuel said to the people, It is the Lord who made Moses and Aaron and brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore stand up, that I may plead in judgment against you before the Lord concerning all the kindness of the Lord which he has shown to you and to your fathers. How Jacob went into Egypt, and your fathers cried to the Lord. And the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, and brought your fathers out of Egypt, and made them dwell in this place. And they forgot the Lord their God, and he delivered into the hands of Sisera, captain of the army of Hazor, and into the hands of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab, and they fought against them. But afterwards they cried to the Lord and said, We have sinned, because we have forsaken the Lord, and have served Baalim and Ashtaroth. But now deliver us from the hands of our enemies, and we will serve you. And the Lord sent Jerubbaal, and Badon, and Jephthah, and Samuel, and delivered you from the hand of your enemies round about, and you dwelt securely. But seeing that Naas, king of the children of Ammon, was come against you, you said to me, No, but a king shall reign over us, whereas the Lord your God was your king. Now therefore, your king is here, whom you have chosen and desired. Behold, the Lord has given you a king. If you will fear the Lord, and serve him, and hearken to his voice, and not provoke the mouth of the Lord, then shall both you and the king who reigns over you be followers of your God. Thus, the history of Samuel. Two final things to note. This Gibeah, which is Saul's home, is one of the towns of Benjamin, which is a center of a great deal of controversy in the book of Judges. And in fact, early in the ages of the Judges, over the evil that inhabitants of Gibeah, a town of Benjamin, had done, the Israelites almost completely exterminated the tribe of Benjamin. And in fact, they did kill all of the women and children of Benjamin, and left alive only, I believe it was 600 warriors of Benjamin. And, well, we can say more about that later, but it's interesting that Saul comes from that very town and is a descendant of them. Another thing to note is, so concerning the story of Samson, it's an odd one because it says that the Philistines were oppressing the Israelites for 40 years. And it says that Samson judged Israel for 20 years. And moreover, from context, we can find out that he died when he was 40 years old. But the thing is that Samson only begins the deliverance from the Philistines. When Samson dies, therefore, the Philistines are presumed to still be oppressing Israel, which would suggest a little pattern where, okay, if we have to line things up, then we would say that Well, there are a couple of different things you can do, but it would seem strange to say that Israel had been delivered from the Philistines all these multiple times. And what we end up getting is that it seems that Samson and Samuel were born at almost the same time. At least that they overlapped significantly in the beginnings of their lives. And that there may very well be some relationship between the damage that Samson did in the Philistine lands and the actual wars that are mentioned in the life of Samuel. So that's kind of neat. All right, have a great day.